Hello everybody, and welcome back to more Yu-Gi-Oh! Dynasty series. It's me, Cooper, and today we're going to be going through another one of the deck profiles. The next person to be in our Dynasty series is Taya Gardner. Yes, Taya. I know a lot of you didn't even expect her to be in this series since she really only dueled once, but that's enough for me. Taya Gardner is going to be one of the characters we can get in this series, and honestly, her deck was one of the hardest ones for me to build. So let's go ahead and go through it by starting with her ace monster, the Shining Friendship. Yes, her ace monster has a 4-star with 1300 attack, 1100 defense. Yep, that's what we're getting into today. So Taya Gardner's ace monster comes with a lot of other monsters, but let's just go ahead and go into her rare cards. Taya's rare cards are the Magician of Faith and the Waboku. Waboku may have just been my own personal bias to give to her. That is my decision. You guys cannot question it. So she is going to have Magician of Faith and Waboku. Magician of Faith actually is a very good card for her deck. What it does is that when you flip this card face up, you get to get one spell card from your graveyard and add it to your hand. Taya is well known for using a super large amount of equip spells in her deck, which is how she beat Joey Wheeler in the opening episode. And honestly, I think this will work out really well for her because her monsters are ass. Let's go ahead and get into them. We're going to go into Taya's attack stat. One of the worst in the game. Her ace monster is 1300 attack. All of her monsters are below average. Every single one of them. All of her non-tribute monsters are 1400 and less. Her best one is called Fairy's Gift at 1400 attack. Her weakest ones are Tenderness, Petite Angel, Happy Lover, and these weird and Dancing Elf. It's just not good. It's not good, guys. She's got some of the worst cards I've ever seen. But they're cute fairies, and you know what? If that's what she wants to use, then that's her goddamn right. So to give her more cards, because she didn't really have much, I added in the Dark Witch and the Orion the Battle King to her deck, two normal fairy monsters from this time period of Duelist Kingdom. Dark Witch has 1800 attack, 1700 defense, and it is a tribute monster. Orion the Battle King has 1800 attack, 1500 defense, and is a tribute monster. Which means her best monsters, the strongest attacking monsters in her deck that are tribute monsters, have 1800 attack. The average for tribute monsters is 2000. So she's below average on her tribute monsters as well. The only reason I did not give her a 0 attack stat is because of her equip spells. She runs a shit ton of them. She runs multiple copies of Elf's Light and Silver Bow and Arrow, and I added in Shine Palace to join it since Shine Palace is from the same time period, even if it was really owned by a different person in Duelist Kingdom. She's the one that gets the full advantage of it. So she at least has that. Moving on to her defense stat, it is also not good. If the average defense stat is also 1500, her monsters are even worse except for her Tenderness at 1400. Shining Friendship at 1100, that's something. She has something called Hourglass of Courage at 1200. Her tribute monsters have 1700 at best. The only reason her defense stat isn't worse than her attack stat is because she runs Waboku. And Waboku is going to give her a lot of good potential for protection. So, what Waboku does is that you can't take any battle damage that turn, and your monsters cannot be destroyed by battle that turn. Which is really useful for her deck because she needs some way to keep her monsters on the field long enough for her to get her equip spells to power them up. Because they're going to be overpowered like that if she doesn't get these equip spells. Which is where we're going to move into her speed stat. Her speed stat is about average. It's actually not the worst. The reason it's not the worst is because I added in some cards to help her out. One Shining Angel to her deck for special summoning. It is from the Spell Ruler pack, which did take place in Duelist Kingdom, so it's fine. It's from that at least same time period. Magician of Faith can get her Pot of Greed again. It can get her equip spells, so that's actually going to increase her speed stat by a little, because it adds cards to her hand, which is super helpful. That is it. That is literally it. There's nothing else helping her speed stat, but Since she has a little special summon potential and she has search potential, she is able to get not terrible speed stat. And the speed stat is also affected by how long the duels are going to be. And her duels are definitely going to be short. I mean, Waboku might stall for a little bit, but the reality is she's either going to equip spell up and kill you, or you're going to kill her before she even gets the chance to do any of this, which is the more likely situation, sadly. Which is why we're going to get into her brick stat next, and she is joining the unbrickables, because how the hell is she supposed to brick when she only has like 2 tribute monsters? One is Battle King Orion, one is Dark Witch, and the rest of her deck is just normal summon monsters with like horrible attack and defense. She's not going to ever brick. She's never going to come to a position where she's like, crap, I can't play a card. She will always have a card to play. Whether it's a Waboku, whether it's a Equip Spell, whether it's a monster, she's going to have plenty of monsters. There's like over 20 in her deck that are summonable without a tribute. So she's not going to have any problems with bricking. That's one of her shining lights, which is very funny given that she's using a light fairy deck. But that's going to be it, guys. Let's get into her potential, and this should not surprise anybody. Teia's potential, and whoever ends up getting Teia, you got a 1-star. You got very, very low odds of winning this tournament. It's going to take a miracle. You're going to have to start off with her best monster. You're going to have to get her best tribute monster, the Dark Witch, early onto the field. You're going to have to buff it up with every equip spell you can get your hands on, just so you can overpower your opponent's 2,000 defense point or 2,000 attack point monsters. And you're going to have to pray that Waboku can protect. It's just so much you're going to have to pray, you're going to have to pray, you're going to have to pray. Her deck is a lot about praying, honestly. Just because she doesn't got much here. She really doesn't have much. And I had to add a lot of extra copies of stuff just because she didn't show off much in that one duel. So, that's going to be it for Teia Gardner. Honestly, if somebody gets her, if they win with her, I'll be super surprised. Obviously, her and Weevil are probably the lowest ranked characters I have so far. I say so far because maybe there's someone worse, but yeah, that was Teia Gardner, everybody. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I hope you're excited for the actual battles to begin soon.